All right. Hey, everyone. Sorry for the late live stream tonight. I was watching my niece and nephew tonight. My wife and my sister-in-law went to a birthday party for their girlfriend, and my brother-in-law was working a little late tonight, so I'm running a little late tonight as well. So I do apologize for that, but, life takes its moments, and family always comes first for me, so that's kind of why we're going late. A couple of things we're going to talk about tonight is obviously the CPI data came in pretty good for us. Bitcoin was pumping, miners were pumping today. The markets were pumping a little bit as well today, so that was a good sign there for us. We'll take a look at the miners today as well for comparison to Bitcoin hash rate and their hash rate, what that is, percentage of their hash rate of the Bitcoin network hash rate. We'll also take a look at sats, right? How many sats did the miners actually produce in December compared to their shares outstanding? So how many sats are you getting for the number of shares out there? And that'll be it. Then we'll get into your guys' Q&A. So it should be pretty quick, hopefully. Right? It's late. I don't want to be up too late. I know you guys probably want to go to bed as well. But as always, you guys know the drill here. Not financial advice for anyone only. Please do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. All right, we're going through this in rocket speed here. Bitcoin, oh my gosh, had a great day today. It was nice to see. It did break above our 50-day simple moving average here, which was nice. That was one of my concerns. If it doesn't break above it, I thought it was going to go down. We did break above it. We got above 100,000 as well on today, and we closed above 100,000 today as well, so that was good. And then we're down a little bit here on the new day, so we'll see where this lends us in the next couple of days. But at least we had a nice day today on Bitcoin. Bitcoin closed at 100,510.23 cents. We were up 4.12%. The miners had a really good day today as well because of that. So it was just an overall good day. If we look at the CPI really quick, Bach posted this here, breaking U.S. inflation data release, bullish. Year-over-year growth, CPI data for December, 2.9% versus 2.9 estimated. Previous was 2.7. Right, not too bad. Core CPI came in at 3.2 versus 3.3 estimated, so that was good. Previous was 3.3, so that came down. That was good overall. And then month-over-month growth here, CPI data was 0.4% versus 0.4 estimated. Previous was 0.3, so that was still pretty good there. And then core CPI came in at 0.2% versus 0.3% estimated. Previous was 3%. So the core CPI is what kind of drove the markets up today, which was a good day, right? So that's really what drove the markets today in Bitcoin in general. You can see here that the other markets were up. Dow Jones was up 1.65%. The NASDAQ composite was up 2.45%. The S&P 500 was up 1.83%. So it was an overall good day. MicroStrategy was up 5.39%. Bitfarms was up 6.37%. A lot of the miners have outperformed Bitcoin here a little bit, whether it was just a 1.5x on top of Bitcoin or 2x, more or less. Bittier was up 9.45%, which was great. Cypher was up 5.86%. Cleanspark was up 8.21%. At one point, it was up like 10% almost, or over 10%, I believe. CORZ was up 4.46%. Hive, 7.53%. Hut, 10%. IREN was up 5.29%, was up higher at one point also, was, I believe, closer to 7%. Marathon was up 4.5%. It was up higher at one point also, but it pulled back down. Riot was up nicely today, 9.97%. It was also above 10% on today. Wolf was up 10.95%, up higher than that. I think it was at 1.12% as well during the day. Some of the smaller miners are pretty good here. Any was up 6%. Argo was up almost 10%. Bit Digital up 8.85%. Digihost up 6.7%. DMG up 8%. Mawson was the only one that was down today, 1.6% down. Stronghold was up 6.85%. And then the ETFs were up also. BitQ was up 4.6%. BKCH was up 6.2%. DAP was up 6.1%. WGMI was up 6.5%. So it was a good day. We'll take this. We need a lot more of these days here. But I love seeing that a lot of the miners were close to being like 2x on top of Bitcoin, which historically is what we've seen in the miners, that they do perform better than Bitcoin. Is this a start of this? I'm hoping it is. We'll see how it goes, though. We'll see if Bitcoin can still maintain its 100,000 mark here, right? It's down on the new day here a little bit. Profit taking possibly happening here right now. We also have, I think there's a wall here. Let me see if I can pull this up. There it is. So you can see a lot of volume here right around this range here below this. And then it's just trying to find its footing right now in the above 100,000 mark potentially. We'll see it, right? I don't know exactly what's going to happen here going forward, but based on what I'm seeing here, it's good if we can get back above 100,000 in today's hours, or even if it takes us one day. If we have a little bit of pullback, okay, we'll take it. We've been up quite nicely here in the last couple of days. We were up 4% today. We were up also 2%, so we're up almost 7%, roughly 6.5%, 7% or so in the last 2 days. A little bit of pullback, I'll take it. As long as we're staying above the 50-day simple moving average, I think that's good. All right. So that's it on that. Let's take a look at how Bitcoin has performed so far this January. We're up 6.57%, which is good. I'll take it. Nonetheless, it's going to be possibly a good month for us. We're getting close to President Trump being inaugurated here in a couple of days here. I believe it's going to be on Monday. So he's got a bunch of things that he wants to do. A lot of things that are going to be done on the first day as well with executive orders and things like that. We'll see what he does for us as far as Bitcoin is concerned, mining, anything like that. It'll be interesting to see what he does on that first day. But overall, CPI helped out today. Everything was good. So that's a big relief, I think. But mainly because of the CPI. Also today I posted on X here. Should Bitfarms and hash override Ben Gagnon there move their headquarters to the United States to improve shareholder value? We had 500 votes on it so far. We have 9 hours left basically in it. 92% of you have responded as yes. Only 7.8% responded as no. So hopefully Bitfarms sees this, and when they do actually buy out Stronghold sometime this quarter in Q1 here, that they do actually plan on moving their operations or at least their headquarters to the United States, right? They don't have to move the whole team there. They can do the same thing like Hive is doing, where they have just one person basically being hired there to open up mail, be in charge of the regulatory and other things like that. They can do that from a location in the United States, and then all the other people that are like Ben Gagnon, which is stationed in Canada, he can maintain there and so forth, so on that. So we'll see what they do. If they do that, I think that would be great. There's a lot of benefits to being in the United States instead of Canada for them, headquartered at least. But they're going to have operations still in Canada, in the United States, in Paraguay, and Argentina as well. And that's fine. Right. That's not a big deal there. All right. So that's it on that. Let's take a look at some of the stats that we have here on the miners here really quick. So this is the Bitcoin network hash rate versus the miners. This was updated for December here. So we're about 2 weeks out on this. We have a lot of things that we look at on the miners, and we're just kind of catching up here as time goes on here. So the network hash rate got to 777 exahash here. This was on the 30-day average. This is what I normally track on it at the end of December. The miners were at 228, the ones that I tracked, 11 of them for this. But you can see that it's definitely increasing here as time goes on. So has the miners' percentage of that as well. The network itself increased 46.5 exahash here. The miners for the month of December increased 20.2, almost 20.3 exahash combined. More or less, that gave them now the highest percentage of the network hash rate, 29.4% ever. So they are definitely taking market share from private miners and maybe state-run miners as well, if you want to think that there's some state-run miners out there as well. But they're definitely taking market share here over time here, which is nice to see. There have been times where we've been going down, like in beginning of this year in March, or beginning of last year. In March, they got down to 19.9% of the market share. But ever since then, they have been doing a fantastic job here, growing their hash rate faster than everybody else around the world is. So it's also really nice to see there. Okay, miners month-over-month hash rate increase here. Miners increased by 9.3% of the network hash rate. And then we can see here the miners month-over-month hash rate market share increase or decrease. And we got Mara increased their hash rate the most here by 0.89%. Right, so it's month-over-month increase. Followed by Cleanspark 0.56. After that, we got IREN here at 0.269. And then we got TeraWolf at 0.133. Actually, we got Cypher probably 0.15. And then TeraWolf and everybody else here is below it. Some actually have lost market share. BitDeer lost a little bit of market share. Bitfarms lost a little bit. CORZ as well. Hut 8 and Riot have lost market share. And that is a result of not growing much, right, or not growing as much as others have been growing. So that's a result of that, especially if the network hash rate is increasing and they're not increasing that much. That's a result of that. And that's going to change from month to month for all these guys here, okay? So definitely like looking at that stat there. And there's all the rest of it here. But I love seeing this, that the miners are actually taking market share there. So that's fantastic news there. Next thing we're going to take a look at really quick here is the sats. I like looking at this because this kind of gives us a little bit of an insight as far as if I buy a share of a certain company, how many sats am I getting of that company's revenue or generation of Bitcoin, right? Sats. So if we look at sats mined per share, Marathon is number one here at 269 sats per share. So if you're buying that, that's kind of what you're getting there per each share. IREN came in second this time around. They have less shares than Cleanspark. They also highly improved their BTC mined for the month of December compared to November. That puts them in number 2 spot now at 267, and Cleanspark at number 3 spot with 228, followed by Riot at 155. Then you got CORZ Scientific at 104, still really good there. BitTier 101, Hive 80, Hut 879, Cypher 58, Bitfarms 47, TeraWolf 41. Right, so these guys, you're getting more sats per share. And then if you look at HODL per sats per share, we have Marathon with 13,949 sats per share, followed by Hut 8 at 10,869. Then we got Riot at 5,333. Cleanspark at 3,402. Hive at 2,174. BitTier now at 413. Cypher at 386. Bitfarms at 208. CORZ starting to HODL a little bit, but they don't report it. I may have to go back through some of their press releases and see if I can figure out what they actually have as far as HODL right now is. IREN doesn't HODL anything, neither does TeraWolf. Okay, so that's basically it right there on the stats and CPI, everything else that happened today. No news from the miners whatsoever. They didn't have any press releases going out today, at least the ones that I tracked, the large ones. I'll have to look at some of the smaller miners maybe for tomorrow's video to see if there's any updates for them. We also have to take a look at the smaller miners as far as how was their performance over in December as well. So I still have to do that going forward. We do have some other things we're going to take a look at as well later on this week. Mining comparison charts as far as hash rate, growth, things like that. That happened here recently for them. But that's basically it. So let's get into your guys' Q&A as always. But as always, the Patreon members have access to all the spreadsheets. The link on that is going to be down in the description for it. And as always, it's $8 a month if you want to have access to all the data that I have on the miners. And there might be a couple spots at $5 and $4 as well. You're more than welcome to, and definitely should, take advantage if there's any open spots for that, because that's definitely a nice deal there. All right, so that's it on that. Let's take a look at the questions that you guys have, if any at all. And we'll try to get through all of them. As always, if you preface the questions with a Q or a question mark, and then the question itself, I'm going to scroll up a little bit on the comments, try to catch up a little bit here as well, and work my way down here. So let's see if you guys have any questions. And I do see at least one right now. I'm scrolling up here a little bit. Okay, let's start here with Kaz. Question, is Riot selling its 19% still good news for Bitfarms? I don't know if Riot is selling. Was there anything reported on that? I haven't seen anything on the 19%. I believe they still own 19.9%. But if they do sell their 19%, it's going to be, it might keep the stock down a little bit for a time being until they sell it all, because that's a lot, right? Almost 20% being owned there. It's going to take a while for them to sell that potentially. So that would not be good for Bitfarms in the short term. In the long term, I think it would be good because it gets right off their back. Okay. What else do we have here? Okay, Juan says, we are going to an all-time high in the next days. My prediction is BTC at 110,000 by Sunday. Wow, that'd be great. If we break past 108, that would be fantastic. Let's see. What else here? What else? Trying to find a question. Sorry, I'm going through this. Juan says Donald Trump will send Bitcoin to the moon. Those are those who are selling now will cry in the next few months. You know, I think a lot of us are hoping for that. Let's see. Trying to find a question here. We got a bunch of comments. Okay. Brian says Bitfarms insiders are selling or buying shares. Sorry. Yes, they have been buying shares. Here we go. Donna has a question. Question, is the U.S. government returning half their stats to exchanges bullish for Bitcoin? I saw, what is it, Bitfinex, I think was one of them that they're returning those to. That might be a good sign there. depending how will Bitfinex do, what will Bitfinex do with those sats, right? Will they give them back to the people that were affected by it, or did they actually cover those sats from their own reserves and things like that? So that makes them kind of whole there. I think that would be good as well. But yeah. Let's see here. Salmon Gaming said, are we going to keep running, or are we going to give back all the gains again for the 20th time? I mean, that's a great question. Do I know what's going to happen? No. Does anybody really know what's going to happen with Bitcoin, where it's going to go? I think it's going to go up here. Well, I don't know exactly when it's going to go up. I do believe it's going to go up, but I don't know when. Could we go down some more? Yes, we could go down some more. So that's one of those things where if you look at it at a longer time frame, I think you're going to do great. Shorter time frame, you may get wrecked a little bit, but it might be a good buying opportunity as well, because I believe in the long term it's going to go up. Okay, what else? Question. Seb, do you know the schedule for the dilution start date for miners, especially Mara? That I don't know, right? A lot of these guys have been recently getting the, what is it called? Oh, gosh. They've been doing the, right? I know what I want to say. It's not dilution, it's not the ATM, it's the other part. It's the convertible notes. There you go. Convertible notes. They're doing the convertible notes, which then pushes the dilution out further into like 2030, 2031 as well. So I don't think that it's going to happen anytime soon here, at least possibly not. Mara has, or is increasing their number of shares that's going to be available to them by 300 million. I don't know when they're going to start, if they're going to do an ATM even, and when they might start using it. So I really don't know there. We'll have to wait and see if we find out any of the information when they provide the quarterly results, which is going to be probably in February sometime. Okay, Scott's got a question here. Seb, have you seen Penny Ether's latest work on the actual sats per cash, and applies much lower profit success than your work? Thoughts? I have not seen that. And Penny might be, I know Penny does great work, so I'll have to take a look at it to see what he actually is coming up with there. But I have not seen it yet. When did he post that, though? Because I follow Penny, and I haven't seen anything from him recently here. Let's see. Rick has a question as well. Question, is this the first cycle that Bitcoin reserves on exchanges are going down while the price is going up? No, the reserves on exchanges always go down, especially when we go into a parabolic rise in Bitcoin price, because people are basically taking off the coins off the exchanges, putting them in hardware wallets and things like that. So that happens pretty much every cycle, I think, that I've seen here, at least in the cycles that I've been since 2017. What do you think about, excuse me, what do you think of applied earnings? I haven't seen those. Let me see if we can, I don't know if we got those latest data here on it. Oops, went too far here. Let me see. Let me see if we can pull that up really quick. Visual stocks, let's go here. If those have been, oh gosh, I need to log in. Let me see if we can log in. Okay. Let's see here. Featured, nope, I want to search really quick. APLD, applied, popular is pretty high. Let's see if the latest numbers, okay, so here's applied numbers, right? So was it for Q4 already that they reported? Q3 definitely, if it's Q3, I don't know if it's the Q3 the latest, but that's definitely looking pretty good here. Net income was way down though in Q3 for some reason for them. Cash flow looks okay. Profit, what else? Shares outstanding have been increasing. Wow, pretty sizable increase there from 209, 149, 50 million shares basically added there. Operating expenses up a little bit here, but more or less flat. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. I don't really follow applied. I don't know, so I really don't know. But just looking at here, revenue has been increasing, which is nice, but net income has been decreasing. Why? What's going on there? I would need to take a look at it, see what's going on there with them. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, let's see here. Sebastian, Cleanspark will go to at least 20 from here soon. Bitcoin goes up. I think they will follow suit. Yes. Let's see. Par asks, did you get a chance to watch Bitfarms CEO and CFO on the conference today? If so, what are your thoughts on the HPC AI hosting is in second half of 2025? 38 exahash allocation sounds huge. I watched like the first half of it. I didn't get a chance to watch all of it. but yeah, I mean, it looks pretty promising there, right? If they can execute on that stuff, and I think Stronghold has a lot of potential there for them, as long as they can execute on it. So we'll have to wait and see it. And I need to finish up the rest of the conference that they had as well. Let's see here. Surendra asks why Hive share is crawling even when other shares are running. What are the drawbacks that's hindering the shares? The only thing I can think of for Hive is their lackluster growth. It's good that they're growing to about 15 exahash next year, or this year. Gosh, I keep thinking it's next year. It's this year. In 2025, they're looking to get to like 15 exahash, which is nice. But some of the other miners are going to 50 exahash and beyond as well. We'll see where those guys go. So I think that's maybe one of the reasons there. Operations have always been great there. Yeah, they're just not being valued on that. They have a nice HODL position as well. They're moving to the United States as far as headquarters is concerned. So there's a lot of good things happening, and maybe in time they will get a nice bid up as well. And then Andre has a question here. The U.S. government has not sold those $6.5 billion worth of BTC yet. By law, they need to do so. Has there been any agreement with incoming administration? That I don't know. I know that the $6.5 billion worth of Bitcoin that they have there has to go through an auction, I believe. So that always takes time to set up, things like that. And even if they do that, I think the auction is going to be a good thing, because then you're going to have people that actually want to buy it and hold on to it, instead of giving it to people that might have had it in the past, right, at a much lower cost. They get it and they actually end up selling it here. So I think the auction is going to be good. Ron has a question here. Do you think things are looking promising for the miners now? Any reason why things can go wrong? Well, there's always things that can go wrong, right? But are things looking promising? Yeah, the CPI data that came out today was pretty good. We got the new administration coming in that's bullish on crypto and Bitcoin in general. So that should be all good signs here going forward, right? Could they get the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve as well, SBR, happening sometime this year? That would be good. States are definitely working on that as well. You had other countries possibly looking into it as well. So there's a lot of adoption here happening, which I think is going to be obviously good for Bitcoin miners. As Bitcoin goes up in price, the miners are generating a heck of a lot more revenue already as it is. Q1 results should be coming out pretty good here. I think things are definitely picking up here. They've been definitely delayed from where I thought they were going to go, or when the things are going to happen, but at least it's happening now, I think. But we still could have a little pullback on Bitcoin, right? Don't count that out. Let's see. You still think Cleanspark and IREN can achieve at least $40 this cycle? I still believe that, yeah. If Bitcoin goes to like 200,000 plus, I do believe that we could be at $40, even higher than that, because those guys are going to be generating so much revenue there. Kevin asks, is anyone else numb to the price action? I've been numb for the last probably 3-4 years or so. This is my, going to be my third cycle here. So yeah, I'm no longer excited about 10% rips or 10% dips. Yeah, that's good. If you go through cycles, or if you become used to this type of thing, you get a little bit more used to it. Let's see. What is your view of Griffin? They bought a 4 gigawatt site or 4 megawatt site. 4 gigawatts is a lot. None of these miners have 4 gigawatts right now. Is it gigawatt pipeline potential, or? But yeah, if they bought that would give them a heck of a lot of room to run, I guess. Let's see here. Scott says, you skipped my follow-up question. Please comment. All right, let me see if I can find it here. Sorry. Scott, if I missed it, I do apologize. Let's see. The only one that I saw here, Scott, was this one here about penny ether. Let's see here. Much actual cash multiplies lower. Oh, maybe that's, let's see here. Seb, have you seen Penny Ether's latest work on the actual cost supplies lower? Yeah, I talked about that. Success than your work. I talked about that one. Did I miss the other one? Let me see. Let me scroll up. If I did, I apologize, but that's the only one that I see here. Yeah, that's the only one that I see from you, buddy. Please re-ask the question again if you could. Okay. Heinzie Ketchup here. Why is everyone happy? Y'all don't want more red days to buy. I'd love to get more red days to buy before we really rip up much higher. So yeah, I was hoping to buy this week. I haven't done it, done it yet. But I have a nice stack as it is right now. If I can buy more at a lower price, I would definitely take it. So your question, how undervalued is Soluna? I don't know. I don't track them anymore. So I really don't know there. C says we've been buying for 3 years. Yeah, we have been buying for 3 years. Karan says, yes, 4 gigawatt. Check Google. All right, let's take a look at it. So you're saying, let's see what that news was. I have them. Do I have them? No, I don't have them in my list. Gryphon 4 gigawatt. Let's see. Signs definitive agreement, 6 days, 4. Yeah, okay, there it is. The street. It was even on the street here. Let's take a look at it here. Okay, so Gryphon, let me make this a little bit larger. And I do not want anybody playing here. Pause that. If I can, it's an ad. Gryphon Digital Mining becomes first public miner to champion AI. Okay, Gryphon Digital has announced a strategic acquisition that could position it as a leader in the global computing infrastructure market. The company has entered into a definitive agreement to acquire Capitus Energy's expensive 850-acre industrial site in southern Alberta, Canada, aiming to leverage this asset for high-performance computing and AI data centers. Okay. Key highlights of the acquisition: location and resource. The site boasts 850 acres of industrial zone land with access to dual natural gas supply, grid connectivity, non-potable water resources, and dual high-speed fiber connections. Okay, so that's actually good. Environmental commitment. The acquisition includes world-class carbon capture and sequestration capabilities, underlying Gryphon's commitment to sustainable energy practices. The setup is anticipated to make the site truly green energy source by combining natural gas with carbon sequestration. I can't pronounce the word. Scalability infrastructure has the potential to scale up to 4 gigawatts of total power capacity with an initial target of approximately 130 megawatts by the end of 2026. Okay. So yeah, where are they going to get to 4 gigawatts from a single site? I mean, we see some of these other bigger miners have 1 gigawatt site, 1.4 gigawatt site, but 4 gigawatt sites, those I haven't seen yet. So that's a little questionable. There is it. I mean, the potential. That's a lot for a single site. I mean, if they can do that, that's great news for them. But yeah, 130 megawatts is nice by the end of 2026. So you're still looking at 2 years out on that one. So they're definitely not going to be anytime soon here. How fast can they build that out, or is it going to be built out in stages? Possibly is what I'm guessing here. But yeah. Question mark on the 4 gigawatts there, because that's a lot. I mean, usually you have, I don't know how much the hydro you can get for that, but they're saying, what are they saying? Gas supply, grid connectivity, natural gas supply. Okay, so they would build out a gas generation facility there, I guess, or gas electricity facility. But most nuclear power plants aren't even like that. I don't think 4 gigawatts. Some of them are like maybe 2 gigawatts to like 3, I think. But I could be wrong on that. But yeah, that's definitely exciting there for them. Okay, let's see here. Question, have you ever looked into Fufu? I looked into them a couple of days ago. You're talking about BitFufu, I believe. A lot of their stuff, from what I recall, is hosted. They also have the part which is kind of like what BitDeer does as well, where they, what do they call that? Cloud compute or something like that. And then they have a small amount that's their own self-Bitcoin mining on that one. Let's see. Gary asked, did you see XRP's run today? I did not. How much did that one go up today? I don't track XRP anymore. I haven't tracked it really in a long time anyway, so I don't know. I haven't really tracked it. Okay. Gary says, did you? Yes. I'm glad I bought in at 70 cents. Where's it at right now? Above $1, I'm guessing. Something like that. Yep. But that's basically it. Let's take another question here coming from C. Question, what are some ways for HODL miners to make passive income off the Bitcoin for the long term? One way that they could do it is obviously lend it out, like Mara is doing it right now. They could lend it out. They could hedge with it, I believe. They could do What else could they do with it? I mean, I think lending out is basically the only thing they could really do with it. Yeah, I mean, they could become maybe a bank, like MicroStrategy could possibly become a bank. I mean, with the amount that they have in there. I don't know what else they could do with it, though. Let's see, Ron asks, is short interest in the miners persistent, and what could trigger a reversal? It's definitely been more persistent here in the last, I would say, 6 months or so with the miners. What's going to be a reversal on that? I think once the miners start providing really good Q4 numbers, which a lot of these guys should, because Bitcoin was above, on average was like, 96, 98,000 or something like that. That is going to generate a lot of the revenue for the miners, along with their HODL. The ones that have a HODL will be impacted by the FASB rules, which they can then value that HODL much higher. That gives them on the balance sheet or on revenues, whatever you want to call it, side of things. It's going to increase that as well. So then you get a nicer EPS on it as well. Okay, let's see here. Talked about that one. Let's see. Question, do you live stream on Fridays? Typically I don't, but if we have things to talk about, we'll definitely do it. Right? I know a lot of people are celebrating the end of the week on Fridays. They're out going to restaurants, movie theaters, that type of stuff. So I do it occasionally. I don't do it always. And then here, Joel asks a question: Is it possible if government buys publicly traded miner? No, I don't see that happening anytime soon. No, I don't ever. Getting ahead of myself. I don't ever see that happening, where government buys a public miner. Let's see here. If I decide to ask a legitimate question instead of, okay. Gary says XRP is at $4 now. Okay, wow, nice job there. Yeah, the reason I stopped tracking XRP is because it was flat for like a number of years. It's been battling with the SEC there. Plus, the way I look at it is, I know XRP was trying to get into the SWIFT system, basically have banks use them instead of the SWIFT system. I never really liked that idea because I'm like, banks could just create their own coins, and why use XRP at that point? So that's why I never really got into it. EM has a question here. Mara estimated I'm guessing EPS on the next earnings is currently negative 0.08 on Robinhood. If your calculations of $3 is right, what would that realistically shoot the stock price to? Thanks for your show. That's an estimation, right? I don't know what kind of stuff they're going to put into it for Q4. Like I said, they could put in bonuses, a lot of depreciation as well. They could offset things. But I believe with the FSB rules, the way that they work, my understanding is that's going to be added to the bottom line there, I believe. So that should give the EPS much higher values. Now, if it does come out to be that, $2, $3, whatever it might be, I would think that if you value them at least at 15 PE or something like that, 15, 20 PE, then they should be valued higher from where they are right now. Where are they at right now as it is? Morrow is at 18.55. So if you get, let's just say you get $3, right? $3 and you do a 20 on that, that should be, $60 value? Right? Am I correct on that? Yeah. If you give them a 10 only on the 3, that should be like 30. So it depends what kind of multiple they get at that point. Okay, let's see here. Sadie, thanks so much. Likes for Sebastian, appreciate it. Ron, you're very welcome as always. I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I do apologize, but appreciate you and the miner community. You're very welcome. Yeah, greatly appreciate you guys for coming in as well. Ed says, a few miners had over 20% short interest. Now with the recent upward move, does that mean the shorts are being cooked now? I don't think that they're being cooked. I think that they're going to start to transition to long. At least I would think they would do, right? I think you would be stupid to go in short now with the miners getting close to reporting their Q4 results, which should be much better, especially if Bitcoin starts going up as well. I think it would be just silly. It doesn't make much sense to do at that point. But yeah, some are going to be definitely covering it. The ones that don't or hold on to it for too long will definitely not have a great day. CS, the question here, be honest, if these miners move to attractive prices and you sell out, will you ever rebuy back in if they never correct to previous cycle lows? Okay, so let's see. If the miners, the goal here is to sell and take profits this time around, right? And I sell out, will you ever rebuy back in if they never recorrect to previous cycle lows? So they don't have to go back to the previous cycle lows, right? They're much bigger companies than they were before. So even if Bitcoin, I believe if Bitcoin corrects, if that's going to happen, right? Which I don't know if it's going to happen for sure. I'm still thinking that we might have an extended cycle with Bitcoin. But if the Bitcoin is correct, and the miners will correct for sure at that point, I will probably buy back into them. I'd love to repeat the cycle again, right? Buy them at much lower prices, run them up, and that would be fantastic. Okay, Sean asks, what miners have you bought recently? Recently, I bought Cleanspark and IREN. This was probably now, what has it been, 2 weeks? I bought it at like the beginning of the year, I think I bought it. My Bitcoin dumped a little bit here. Let's see. Question, if you're numb to the price action after 3 cycles, what percentage gain in a day on a miner would get you excited? I love seeing like 15, 20%. Those definitely get me excited at that point. Okay. Aren't the miners reporting in Q4 in around February and March? Yes. Some of the miners will report a little bit faster, like Hive should do it faster, along with Cleanspark, because they had their end of years, like in our Q3 and in Q2. I think Hive was in Q2, which was their end of the year. So they should be able to report faster because they don't have to do the audit of those numbers, right? At the end of the year, all these guys have to have audited numbers for them, so that always takes a little bit longer. But yeah, it should be February and March. I would say mid to late February, we should start, or mid to late February, we should start getting quite a few of these reports coming out, and then the last of them will come in probably early March. Okay. Ron has a question here. What alternative revenue streams beyond BTC mining and HPCI can miners explore, such as selling energy, and do you expect shifting strategies going into next cycle? We already have some miners that do that, right, that sell energy, like Riot does it. IREN did it for a while, but they got kind of hurt, and I think it was in August. By doing that, they were hedging, basically. So we already see that in a way as well. However, let's see, what other ways can they make money? They can lend out the Bitcoin that they have there. That's another one. What else could they possibly do? I'm drawing a blank right now as far as what else they could do possibly. I mean, they could create their own ASICs. They could create their own space heater, which is, I think, what was it Canon that's doing that right now? I think they're creating like space heaters that you can actually mine Bitcoin with. So you're not only heating your own space, a small room or something like that, but you're also generating Bitcoin at that point. I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, those are the kind of things that I would think. All right. That asks, let's see, sorry, I missed Heinzie Ketchup question here. The question, if miners are hodling, wouldn't we expect the Q4 earnings to be bad? No. Why would you expect them to be bad? Bitcoin price has gone up for Q4 from where it was, like at 60,000 at the end of Q3 to over 90,000 in Q4. That's a huge increase in the valuation there. That should help out. Okay, covered that. Ed has a question as well. What are the benefits of moving the headquarters to the United States? The main reason is you have possibly more institutions being able to buy into them. There's some institutions, funds, and things like that that will not buy into companies that are not based in the United States. So that's the reason one there. So it gives you basically more liquidity, more capital that can flow into your company there. You can also be included in indexes as well. So that's a benefit there. Taxes is another one. FASB, right? Being able to take advantage of Bitcoin going up in value. You can put that on your books as well. That gives you a better EPS, I believe. So those are some of the benefits there as well. Okay, Gary has a question. Do you think we will have a bear and bull markets in crypto and in Bitcoin again post 2025? With all the mainstream attention it's getting and growing faster than the internet by a recent study. That's why I keep saying, I don't know how long you've been with me, Gary, here, but I've been saying here for the last couple of weeks, couple of months possibly, that we might have an extended cycle with Bitcoin, kind of like the way we had it with gold when gold got the ETFs. If you look back far enough back then, it was a several year bull run for not only, well, for gold, right, at that point. So that's something that's yet to be determined. When will we find that's the case? I don't know. I'm guessing it's going to be probably at the end of this year if Bitcoin continues to go up and it goes up into 2026 as well. that could be the case as far as having an extended cycle at that point. So yeah, I don't know. I'd love to get another cycle where Bitcoin goes down along with the miners. I could repeat this process again. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. Sean asks, Sebastian, what is your favorite alcohol beverage? For me, it's, I'll be honest with you guys, it's absolute vodka with cranberry juice or sugar-free cranberry juice and water. So it's like 20% vodka and then 80%, 60% cranberry juice, and then the rest is water. And that's kind of my favorite there. Beer, never got into beer. Beer gave me a headache. And there's also some, I never got into like, gin or what's the other one? Whiskey. Never liked the flavor there for some reason. Okay. Heinze says, for everyone, hit the like guys. Congrats to everyone who made money on this channel. Appreciate it. Thank you. And then the question here, I meant if it's unrealized gains for mining it and hodling. Unrealized gains for mining and hodling. It's going to be unrealized gains, especially if they're hodling, but I still believe it's going to get added into their profit margins, I believe. Okay. See, Gary says, Sean, Henry seems like a Bloody Mary type of guy. I never had a Bloody Mary either. Maybe have to try that one of these days. Constant's question, are you expecting Trump to announce something on the 20th that's bullish? Based on what I've been hearing here recently, that he's got like over 100, I think it's like over 100 executive orders that he's going to do. So could one of those things be bullish for Bitcoin? Possibly. You know, we'll wait and see what happens on Monday and then on Tuesday as well. All right, let's see here. Ed says, question, I finally had to convince my buddy to invest in miner. He is very conservative and not too greedy. Which miner is most stable and healthy? Hive. Hive is one of them for sure. Hive is the most undervalued right now, I think. But what I think doesn't always translate over into the market, right? I think also Cleanspark, IREN, definitely Marathon there, Bitfarms. I would say also Riot. So those are the ones that I would kind of keep an eye on. And I had a great conversation with, when was it? Sunday? I can't remember if it was Sunday or Saturday. I can't remember now. My local little liquor store here in town where I live. I've been talking to the owner there for probably 2 years now. I told him about Bitcoin like this past year. And when he saw me come in, because he has now 2 liquor stores, one in another town. So he's been spending a lot of time there. So when he saw me, you know, we were happy to see each other because he's a great guy. And we were talking about Bitcoin and stocks and things like that. He's like, you're the one that told me about Bitcoin's going to 100,000. I didn't believe you. And I'm like, well, I told you at 40,000, Bitcoin's going to be going up higher. He's like, yeah, I should have listened to you at that point. I'm like, are you buying now? He's like, no, it's too high. So I told him, look, Bitcoin's probably still going to go up to 200,000 and even higher, possibly beyond that in the next several years. He's like, you really think that? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, do some research into it. I'm not telling you buy it, but definitely do some research into it. He said he would. So we'll see. Let's see. What else we got here? Ed says, Cleanspark has some drama. What drama do you see there? The only drama that I can think of would be like share dilution, right? Which has been capped right now. And there's no share dilution happening this year, at least, potentially. They bought a plane. I kind of agree why they bought the plane. If it makes them more productive, heck yeah, do it. Especially since they've got sites all over the place here in the United States. I think that makes sense. Not a big deal there. And they actually can have a benefit on the books on it. So that's fine. But other than that, what other drama have you seen with Cleanspark there? Ed says, thank you, Seb. Have a great night. You too. Thanks for coming in. And then Benjamin question, Bitcoin dropped to 89,000. Bitcoin miners didn't dip that much. Miners are looking bullish. It does seem like it, right? They're kind of keeping up with the Bitcoin here a little bit here recently. So we might be seeing that turn around a little bit that we've been waiting for the miners to actually do much better than Bitcoin going forward. But we shall see. But yeah, okay, I think we've caught up to all your guys' questions here. We're going on about 45 minutes or so right now. As it is, we'll call it a day. today was a good day. We'll take a victory whenever we can get it. So we just need to maybe, what is it now? We need like 20, 30 more days like this. And I think we'd be doing really good. A lot of us would be doing very well, I think, at that point. So I think the best is just yet to come for us. Just be patient. We are going to get these dips from now and sometimes. So, and then Christian asks here, Bitfarm at $1.67 bullish. Yeah, I think they're still way undervalued from where they really should be. So do what you will with that information as well. But I wish you guys a great night. Thank you so much for coming in this late. Like I said, was a little busy with the family this afternoon. So we'll get into the swing of things again, hopefully earlier a little bit tomorrow. And then Gary has a quick question here as well. Bitcoin hits 1 million in 2025. Bitfarms price still at well, it's not really a question. That's more of a comment. But if that's the case, yeah, I don't think that's going to be happening. I would say at that point, they might be like at $200 some odd per share. If that happens, Bitcoin goes to 1 million. But we'll call it a day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for coming in. Love you all. Have a great night and have a great rest of the week. I'll see you guys tomorrow.